and gentlemen, welcome to part two of our fantastic adventure, the first time ever video live podcast from me ever. Here we are on the air. Just me now, just me and you. Here we are together. But we're here doing the Patrice O'Neill podcast. We're here for the Indiegogo campaign. We're here to raise the money for Patrice's movie that we are very excited to be doing. Here I am. We're at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City, and we've got a bunch of comics kind of waiting to come talk to us. I don't know if we have any viewers yet, but hopefully soon. And this has been an adventure. We were right in the middle of having a pretty good time when, unfortunately, the plug got kicked out of my computer. That's what live broadcasting is all about. So we're back. We're on the air. We're almost on the air. We're recording live. There we go. We just got the thumbs up. So here we are. We're really live on the air. Everybody's in my light. I can see that for sure. Which means, yeah. So let's get some people here. Let's talk to somebody. Who have we got? In the meantime, I have stories. Yes. Well. Okay. All right. So here's why we're here. I met Patrice when I was doing Z-Rock. I was directing a show called Z-Rock, which was a show like it was like a Curb Your Enthusiasm meets Spinal Tap. And I produced the pilot. So when I came out to New York and I met these guys, it's a Brooklyn band with like two Jewish brothers and their Italian drummer. And we're what? I'm sure. Yes, viewers are coming. Hi guys, welcome. Yeah, we're just trying in the background to figure out who to bring on and when, and so as soon as they get that together, they'll come. In the meantime, I was directing the show called Z-Rock about this band, and we had a bunch of comics come on, and we had a bunch of musicians come on, and it was really fun. Like Dave Navarro and like all these great guys, Dee Schneider and John Popper from the Blues Traveler, and all these great guys came on, and we had all kinds of comics, Dave Attell and Greg Giraldo, and Joan Rivers was a regular, Lynn Koplitz was a regular, Patrice O'Neill, Jay Okerson was a regular, Big Jay Okerson is going to be with us in a little bit, and Patrice came on, and boy, he was really, he cut right to, I think his thing was he liked to test you. I just like to see where you come from. So he walked right over to me on the first day he was on the set and I was directing. And he just said, "So why are we doing this?" I thought, well, maybe because we're both getting paid. So that's what I gave him. And well, I'm sorry, I'm just talking. Was I in your way? So, ready to go? Sorry, I've been interrupted, so I'll stop telling my story, and here we go. Hey, man, Mark Farrell.
Hi, Mark. Rob Cantrell.
Hey, Rob.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Good.
Great. Well, we're back, guys. Thank you for waiting. I'm sorry we went dark. I hope you came back and joined us. So you know why we're here. We're here because we're doing this documentary about Patrice O'Neill.
Yes.
And we're on our last day of our Indiegogo campaign. We're trying to raise the last like $800, to get us over the top. And so, but we came here tonight because live comedy was Patrice's thing, and working with the live crowd made him happier than anything else made him.
Yeah.
And so. Did you have an experience with Patrice at all?
Totally. Patrice, I was a young comic, but Patrice was amazing. One of the funniest dudes ever. completely ripped. I could never tell like what material, if it was material or not. But he was always nice. He had this reputation as being a super mean, like he gave a lot of people shit. But I was a young, awkward weirdo, and I really have to say that he was always super cool to me, super nice. And the one time it was at the old Boston Comedy Club, and I was 3 years into comedy, and I had to follow him. And there was like 12 people in the crowd, and one of the people was Spike Lee.
Wow.
And Patrice just went on and fucking destroyed. Like there's only a few handful of comics that are that. To me, it's like Chappelle, Patrice, Chris Rock. Like there's a couple dudes that are just in the moment, in the pocket, funny. I put Donnell Rollins up there, Tracy Morgan. Like there's just a certain number of Sarah Silverman, just ballsy, next level motherfuckers, and Patrice was all that. And I really think he put his art before everything else, including his health. And you, as much as it hurts, you have to respect it as an artist because you know how hard it is to do that. And then there was another night I worked New Year's with him at Stand Up New York by random. I remember Big J there, but I just got married and I had my wife, and my wife has nothing to do with comedy. My wife's like a preppy, nice girl that writes thank you notes, and I was just sitting there like, oh, he's gonna give me shit. He's gonna come over here and tear me apart. And he came over and greeted us both because it was New Year's, and couldn't have been nicer, cooler. He really did have an emotional intelligence to him. Like he knew who to fuck with and knew who to be mean to. I don't know, but that was my experience. I know a lot of people have different experiences with Patrice, but I will say I didn't know him well. The few times I did run into him, he was nothing but nice to me, and he was one of the funniest dudes I ever came across. And I hope this movie gets made. He died before, he had kind of the big presence or the household name in comedy type of presence that he deserved. Because he really was for stand-up, and definitely kind of took the hard road and took it during its hardest years, which is the early 90s, which is no joke, So yeah, best of luck to Patrice in the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely doing the movie. Now it's just a matter of how well we can do it. Because we want to have clips of not only just the stuff that everybody's seen, but we've found clips like from Dutch television, and we found stuff, some really obscure stuff that people haven't seen. We want to be able to afford all that licensing because the whole idea is to introduce people to Patrice that didn't know him, but also then the fans to give them a little bit more, and it's true, he's a comic, and there's a lot of great funny stories from comics about him. Then there's a lot of reality too. He cut to the core, not only in his comedy, but in his life, I think, and he had a lot of struggles, and he had a lot of, and here's Vaughn. Vaughn's back. Back.
Hi. What are we talking about?
We're just talking about Patrice.
We're a few $100s away.
I know. We're getting there. We're getting there.
So I met Rob a few weeks ago. Everybody knows I do my little musical improv stuff, and I'm so loud. I'm sorry. I keep eating the mic, and I feel like the further away it gets. So I went to the anniversary show of North Coast, which is like this hip-hop improv group, like the first hip-hop improv group in New York City. They're awesome.
Yeah, you think it sounds lame, but those guys are not lame, and they do like scenes on the spot, like 3 or 4.
Cool.
And Vaughn is hip enough to know about them.
Well, I auditioned for North Coast.
Oh, wow.
And I got the call back, which in my head means I got it.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because if you get the call back from North Coast, then you are there.
That's amazing, yeah.
But I've been doing musical improv for like 2 years, and I told this story on Sife's podcast how like improv saved my life after Patrice passed away, and that whole story that I told 100 times. But getting back to Rob, I saw him at the show because he opened up and he did his set, which it takes me a lot to laugh at stand-up because, and I was rolling And I didn't know that we didn't know each other. I didn't remember that we had met before because we met a long time ago. Briefly, and when earlier when you weren't here, someone had asked a question online about did Patrice ever advise or say anything to young comics coming up, and I mentioned Derek Gaines, who already was here and talked, and you, because of your story you told me when we met a few weeks ago about how kind and generous Patrice was to you, as opposed to his reputation.
Versus his reputation, and he was such, I don't know, I so fond, he was emotionally intelligent, and I think he went after people that maybe, some of them maybe deserved it, maybe they didn't. But
and while you talk, I take selfies, and
all good, I'd
Mark
be proud
yelled
to be
at me, and I ignored it.
Patrice was one of the best comics, and from my personal experience with him, was a nice, cool dude. The one time we were working at Stand Up New York, and you could get like a really good meal, like you can get like the good Thai food, or you could get like chicken parm from like the local like pizza place next door.
Right.
And I think Patrice is all about standing up for yourself and all about demanding, like, don't go for the low dollar. We give our heart, we give our life. You're playing with your life doing this job. That's the end of the day. As funny as it is, but as being an artist in America, you're really putting your dick out on the line to get chopped off.
Yeah.
And he understood that. And I remember one night, he saw me getting the chicken parm and not the expensive Thai, because I was just trying to kiss ass to the owner or whatever, or just be like the humble dude.
Right.
And he was like, Rob, you get that fucking Thai food. You know, you get the $20 meal. Don't get the $7 sub.
That's good.
So, yeah, all the love to Patrice and watching him perform. And I'm glad the movie's coming out, because his riffs and his crowd work and his in the moment stuff his material's awesome, but that's the real gold.
Absolutely.
Is in the moment. Yeah. And the album I love is what's the one in DC? The one at
Mr. P.
Yeah, Mr. P. Yeah, Unreleased and Mr. P. If you're into stand-up, buy Unreleased and Mr. P. Sorry. But it is. There's one, Tulu. He messes with this guy that has kind of this African name and goes after him. But he also has a sense of relating to the person because his name is Patrice. And it's really this just double yin and yang cool thing that's going on. Like, he understands them, but also is ripping them apart at the same time, which I think is the best art. Is when you can balance both the dark and the light. And I think Patrice was always playing with that. And, you know, he could go dark all times, but when he was in his genius moment is when he was kind of balancing all of it, you know? And he could do that.
Yeah, you could see him thinking. Like Colin Quinn said when he did Tough Shot, Colin always worried when he was doing the monologue because he could see Patrice thinking as he did the monologue. And he knew he was going to, like the second he stopped for a breath, that he was going to get it, you know, he was going to get cream. You know, Patrice was always listening and always thinking.
Yeah, always thinking. Yeah. Now, when did you meet Patrice? I remember you guys had that web show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was about 4 or 5, maybe 6 years in. The Patrice O'Neal show coming soon.
Yes.
That show,
which was good. There was good stuff in there.
Yeah, and
Harris was in it. I liked Harris.
Harris made a huge contribution. Thank you, Harris.
Thank you.
Which put us very, very close to our 125,000 goal. And when we were shooting the Patrice O'Neal show coming soon, the web series about a show that would never happen, that was when I was doing, like, we were improvising everything. Yep. Everything was on the spot. Patrice was directing us. It was so much fun. And that's how I came around to doing improv later, because I was like, I wish I had some type of training. Yeah. And then when he passed away and all the smoke cleared, and it was, you know, a month later, he died in November of 2011. I'll never forget April of 2012. I was like sleeping 18 hours a day. I wouldn't wake up to do anything except feed my daughter and pretend like everything was okay, and then go back to sleep and wake up and feed her breakfast, lunch, dinner, after school. That's all I did. And I did that for a month straight. And then in May of 2012, I caught myself. I was like, I can't do this. I have to do something. My daughter's watching me.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be an example for her. Patrice left all this in me. I have so much to do. I have to honor him. Like all these things started running through my head.
And he was a fighter.
He was a fighter, and he taught me to be a fighter. And I was a fighter when I met him, because I came from the projects. Let's be real. But
I can tell you that's the fight in you.
The first thought was improv, and I registered at UCB Theater, and I never stopped. I graduated from their program. I got their diversity scholarship, which I was very proud of. And I discovered musical improv there.
Yes.
And then I co-founded the group Good Catch Comedy, and we've been performing together. We have a 2-year anniversary show coming up at the Pit.
Congratulations.
So I'm very proud
That's
about
awesome.
that. And I always tell that story because I'm like, improv kind of saved my life.
Yes.
And it's not that I would have like killed myself. I don't know. You don't know. But I was in a very dark
yeah, that's heavy. No.
And I've been, dipping my feet in and out of comedy and stand up and this and that for 100 years since I got to New York, but long before I even met Patrice. So it's just natural to be in a comedy environment. And even when I watched your set, it was so refreshing because I tweeted the next day, I was like, I woke up and danced my ass off because you really do forget.
Yeah.
You really do forget how to have fun as an adult.
Yeah.
And I've been going through so much these past almost 4 years that I don't know. I'm rediscovering myself.
Yes.
As I'm going through this process. And eventually all the albums are done, the book is done, the documentary is going to be done and beautiful. My daughter's going to graduate high school and the smoke's going to clear and it's just going to be me standing there.
Oh, I'm proud of you. A single mom is the most hardcore thing on this planet.
Absolutely.
And I know I have a girl. I couldn't do it. You are a superwoman for doing that.
And I'm definitely not saying it to get a pat on the back or any sympathy.
No.
It's just to say, this has made me a lot stronger, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm proud to be doing it. But the reason why we're doing it is tough.
Yes.
But it's brought me to
life.
a certain place. And comedy really does so much for people, and Patrice did so much for people who never even met him, or those who met him briefly.
Just briefly, he was just a nice dude and an inspiration comedy-wise. Like I said, I think he put his craft before everything else, but he also was just a genuine guy, and as you can tell, he had love for you, and it's amazing that you kept this project alive, and I think this film is super important, especially for comedy, and to put that on your shoulders, I commend you immensely. Thank you so much.
We're super excited, and thank you for telling your story. It's an honor, honestly, to be telling the story about Patrice. It really is. It's when Vaughn gave me the call, it was like, oh my God, I couldn't think of a better thing to do, like a more, especially when my whole life has been comedy, and so this is.
And he has a lot of experience in documentaries, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a great thing, and we're really excited to tell this story.
It's exciting, yeah. He's one of the masters. He's one of the best. Patrice really was one of the funniest ever, and I don't think there'll ever be somebody like him. I don't think there'll ever be that type of mind. He definitely, Bill Burr said it, but he definitely had that Jay-Z, like he understood the art form to a point that he didn't have to write shit down, that he was really, it was all coming from right here and right here, and kind of this battle between both of them. Yeah. And sharing that. And that's the hardest thing, just telling jokes at the end of the day is hard, but to take it to that next level is just, so kudos to you guys for getting it out there.
We're excited.
Thank you for stopping by and sharing.
Oh, Vaughn, I'm honored. Thank you for letting me.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I hug everybody. I kind of hug.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Hug. Love. All right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, is this your phone?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was cool. Awesome. So, contribute, please. We're almost there. Almost there.
And Monroe is gonna pop in.
Who?
Monroe.
Don't worry, no one knows me. Hey, man.
I'm sorry.
Stop bumming me.
Buddy, welcome. How's it going?
Hi.
Now, Moreau is a big guy, so I'm gonna barely be in the screen.
No. I'll let you in here.
Scoot over. There's room for everybody.
I'm gonna get a. Yeah, my hand was there before your ass was. It was. You can't get
How
mad.
many times have you said
That's
that?
gonna be
A lot.
$20
High
towards
school.
the campaign. Pull $20 out your pocket right now and
To
give
touch
it to
your ass?
Well, I mean that's what we were selling it
Well,
for.
how much can I get for $100?
Nothing. Don't touch me. Nothing. I'm not for sale. Jesus.
Everybody has a price.
No, I
That's
really
what-
don't.
That's what
I
somebody
really
told
don't.
me in church.
No,
Catholic
well,
school.
you go to the wrong church. If there's a non-gold digging award, I should get it.
How's that going for you?
I don't necessarily seek men with money. Patrice was not rich, contrary to popular belief.
He was He was rich in soul and spirit.
Rich and soul and spirit.
Isn't that the best type of rich?
For sure. Now,
That's what I pay. That's how I pay my bills.
That's it.
Happiness.
Soul and spirit.
that's why you're homeless.
That's why I'm homeless now. Because people don't accept joy.
But with a big smile, though, you're happy about
Like, I don't get it.
Well, thank
gotta
you for
go.
popping by. We're only a couple $100s away.
Yeah.
What's up? How do you can tell? Who are we talking to?
I don't know.
we're
Where's
What's up,
Sun
people?
Sun?
Yeah. We're live.
We're live streaming.
On Google Hangouts, and we're live on YouTube right now.
All right, let's talk. What do you want to talk about? Talk about your book?
Patrice.
Talk about your. I love Patrice.
Yeah,
Did
there's
you
a
do-
book.
did you do
There's
your
also
set
a
already today?
documentary.
I did my set
How'd it
already.
go?
It went great. It
Yeah.
went great because I said exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
You know,
That's good.
and that's see, I never got to hang out with Patrice, but I got to hang out with everyone who got to enjoy his company, like Keith
Right.
Robinson and Colin Quinn
Right,
and
sure.
Burr and all them. So I learned a lot from them. I'm pretty sure I would have learned a lot from him. But one thing I did learn from his interviews was never say anything frivolously. When you go on stage, say shit that you really mean.
Yeah.
Say something that you really care about, or you're wasting your time.
Well, that was absolutely his credo.
We
Yeah.
were at the elephant in the room.
I was at the how you know? You see me in the audience?
Yes.
I was there. That was my very first live special. I've never
Wow.
been at anyone's special.
Wow. Good
None of
place
my
to
friends
start.
wanted to go because all my friends now want to be on Patrice's dick.
Oh, is
But-
that right?
When I went, I got these Patrice O'Neal tickets at the
None
Skirball
of them,
Center,
nobody?
and I got like 2. Y'all should come. I'm all right. And then I went. Because I went by myself, I knew the audience coordinator. She was like, come, don't wait in that line. She set me up close to the front, and I watched it. I watched magic happen.
Yeah.
And to watch somebody do that for an hour special, some shit that you usually do in a comic club, and he brought that to TV was awesome.
And
Yeah.
you did 2.5 hour sets. Were you there for both?
I was only there for one. I had to go do some open mics.
Was that the one? The one you were at? Was that the one where he dug into that one audience?
The girl that wasn't laughing,
Uh-huh.
and I was there. I was sitting like literally
Blonde
right
girl,
behind
yeah.
her, and she was
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, I
I'm
remember
like,
the girl,
this
yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
Loved it.
And how
I don't know. It's annoying though.
are they giving us the last call?
That is,
whistle?
it might be the
I hope
last
we're
call.
at $125,000.
They're like,
Because we made it, that would be great.
Wrap it the hell up.
My phone is dying over there. I have 2 phones.
What were you saying? You was about to ask me something?
I know. Usually, I ask 1 or 2 questions and then I take selfies, and y'all just keep talking.
So anyway, we can keep talking because everybody can hear us.
Thank you. I got a little kid.
All right, we're taking a selfie moment. I'm checking to see how we're doing.
All right, what are we doing?
Stop for the selfie.
Thank you.
Goddamn right. See me on last conversation? No one wants to.
$718 to go.
Oh, you have?
$718 to
Oh
go.
wait, so you were less. Well, tell us about you. Where were you when you saw Patrice and Elephant?
I was I
Where are
just
you now?
moved in. When I saw Elephant in the Room, I just moved to New York. I was there for maybe like a month or two. I'm still doing open mics, running around, saying what I thought was funny, and then I got these tickets and I went, and it was amazing to watch that, to watch somebody say exactly how they feel, the way they want to say it, and watch people have to sit there and deal with it and laugh is awesome.
Yeah, he liked to make people uncomfortable as much as he liked to make them laugh.
Because comedy lives where in the uncomfortable. Think about it. Comedy clubs are always too cold or too hot.
Right.
You're always too close to somebody.
Yeah.
The chairs are not soft.
Right.
You got to be uncomfortable so you can be forced to pay attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that is it. And Patrice
I think
demanded
that's just
attention.
a roast.
No, it's true. No, like Letterman keeps his studio very cold.
You don't ever want people doing this at your comedy show. If I'm doing a show and I see the people in the front row chilling, I'm like, oh, I gotta say something. I gotta say something that's going, even if it's not about them, I gotta talk about something that's gonna make them unease.
Yeah.
There's one comedy club and I try to get them to stop. Like it's comics and they got couches in front. We call it VIP. We don't need people who are too relaxed lounging in front.
No way.
Because they're too cool for school. And they're just laying there like, I don't need that.
Do you do crowd work
For a short part of my career, I did crowd work. Now, if I'm working on a bit, I do crowd work, but I don't really go, where you from? What do you do?
Right.
I'm talking through my material, and I'm like, you've been through this? No? All right. Well, just in case you haven't, this is what it is.
Right.
You know?
Just to get them involved.
Just to get them involved.
Right.
I've also learned that to do comedy, while doing comedy and talking to a lot of older comics, it's a conversation.
Right.
If you're doing an hour, it's a goddamn conversation. No one wants to sit there and listen to you hear and you tell joke after joke after joke after joke.
Right.
Because now they're not involved. They're like,
right.
All right, you can tune out.
Yeah, you want to make it something that they're involved. Yeah, like it's a two-way street. Yeah. Very cool.
Cool. Awesome, man. So get that money.
Yes, thank you.
Raise that money.
Only a couple hundred away.
Only a couple hundred. You need it from me?
Yeah.
They didn't pay me yet.
Okay.
All right. But I'm pretty sure if I put it in your hand, it's not going to them.
It will.
Eventually.
What's this money for? Is this for you?
I feel like if I sat on somebody's hand, then they kind of like buy me a drink or something.
Something.
Hey,
no,
what's up, girl?
I tell people all the time, you see my Instagram.
Sure. One question before you take off? What do we got?
This definitely isn't going
What do we got?
See, I buy stuff.
That's a good question. This money does not come to me. This is 100% for the film. This is not the Vaughn.
What's that?
I know there's a question. Which one is it?
It's for me or for Maroon?
Is that for me or him?
What
of his black Philip philosophy did he actually believe?
All of it. What of his black? Let me see.
You don't say things you don't believe in. If you don't believe it 100%, don't say it.
Jim D on Twitter, what percentage of his black Philip philosophy did he believe? 100% of it.
All of it.
All of it. He was not a knock who's their comic. He didn't say anything just to say it. It came from his life.
Honestly, just sitting around with him, he was just that funny and just that honest. I mean, it wasn't like he was doing that just on the stage. He was doing it.
Yeah. He didn't have jokes. He had soliloquies, as he would say.
Right.
So that was his thing. So thank you for the question and your contribution. Go to Indiegogo.com, put in Patrice, and contribute. Don't be pimping me out for questions and not contributing. I'm tired.
Yeah.
They want all the answers. You ain't got the answer, Sway.
Oh, I got the answer. I have.
That's always want to say that out loud.
That's good.
I have.
You ain't got the answers, Vaughn.
I do have the answer.
You got the answer?
I have the answers.
I got some questions for you.
I got a couple questions
Okay.
myself.
Well, you could purchase Moreau. Instead of giving your payment to me, you could go to Indiegogo and you could get the ebook Speak Fluent Man.
Okay.
It's $12.
All right.
It'll get us closer to the couple of hundred this way.
Yeah, and you'll get some answers. You'll get
Now,
some
can I buy an audio book so I can hear your sweet voice in
Everyone
my
keeps
ear?
asking me to do an audio book. I did not release.
not over yet.
Because there's some sticky phones out there.
Get it.
I'm sorry. Is that time to go? All right.
Thanks, man.
To kick me out.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, that was fun.
Y'all gonna stop pimping me out, Mark
No,
Farrell.
it wasn't me.
You every time you're like, even when we were on Opie and Jimmy, you were like, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good.
Give it to her right now, buddy. Let's pump it off.
I did not say that.
Well, that's what it sounded like in my head.
No, I'm sure. I didn't say that.
Are you having a good time, sir?
I'm having a decent time. I'm excited about getting there. I want to get there.
How close are we? Where's our other pimp?
$700 away.
Where's our other pimp master, Sansan? She likes pimping me out too.
Well, she's trying to get Jay. She's
Where did Jay
Jay's
Overton?
5 minutes away.
Oh, okay. He was
I
here.
think he's doing his set right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Jay's
What
downstairs.
about who else was on the list? Rachel, was she here?
Rachel was here, and then
She did it already? I missed her?
No, we went dark right when she was ready to walk.
Oh, see, that's the hard part about doing it at the stand. The stand is great, but everyone's working or everyone's talking.
Or
It's
somebody kicks out a plug.
yeah.
That happens.
Speaking of plugs, the stand is an awesome place to
Nicely
be.
done.
Like, I love the food here. There are amazing people. Everyone that works here is really cool and nice. The comedy is obviously great, but like Chris and like everybody is just so supportive of the campaign and just Patrice in general. If you go into the bathroom, have you been into the bathrooms? Did you see the picture of Patrice and on the wall?
Yeah,
It's just beautiful. And we were talking earlier about the project that I was working on with Derek
sounds
Gaines.
very cool.
That's Chris.
Right.
That's
Oh, okay.
yeah. He looped me into that, and I went in and auditioned, and
Yeah.
hopefully that goes where it goes.
So you got the callback, but you don't know.
No, that was North Coast. No, with the Derek Gaines thing. No, that I got that. No, we shot it.
Okay.
We shot like a sizzle, or I don't know what to call it, and he's not here. I don't want to say it wrong, but we actually shot.
We're just not here to give you shit.
I know. We actually shot it, and I played his mom. I had a great time on set. It's like the same feel, like
That's such a weird concept to think of you as his mom. I can't even fathom.
yeah, well, like a young
I get it.
hot
but-
mom thing, yeah.
MILF. I think.
Yeah, or yeah, I guess that's the term, cougar or MILF or whatever.
MILF.
But I just had a wonderful time shooting that with
Yeah.
Chris,
Cool.
you know, who owns the stand and all that jazz.
Right.
And they're just great people to work with. I had a great time on set. I had a great,
Super generous.
it's a great script. Like they're just good people to be around.
Yeah. They were super generous.
We have another
Thanks.
question.
Okay, we good. How do we sound, guys? Everything okay?
The Black Phillip thing? Oh, we
Yeah,
answered it.
we have a look
Yeah,
on
we
your face
saw
like
it.
it's not
That's
perfect.
okay.
You have a look on your face like it's not perfect. Tweaking. Good. Always be tweaking. ABT. Okay. What's the question? What do we got?
It was the same Black Phillip question.
Oh.
Why do I keep doing that?
The Black Phillip thing?
No, I keep leaning into the mic.
I know. It's just something you do.
You know what, Mark?
I got nothing to say.
I caught that. See how? See? Yeah, That's called sneaky, what you just did. Very sneaky. But I've been trained by the best. You do know who I am, right? I spent 10 years with Patrice O'Deal, all right?
Okay, all right.
You can't get those little
You got
things
the
that...
little innuendos out there? 600 at what? 622 left. 628 left.
$628 left.
$28 is all we need.
So I wish Cypher Styles was still here so he could do the math. Like, Cypher pulled out the calculator and was like, if if 300 people did $10, that would be
3,000.
3,000. But
that was 622.
So now what's the math? Because we only need 600 and something.
Well,
so that's divided by what? $10, $5?
What we really need, we just need at $600. There's the $100 package. We need 6 people need to buy that.
6 people buy the $100 package.
Right, the insider scoop pack.
Insider scoop pack.
Yeah, you get like the mug and the shout out and the T-shirt, right?
A lot of cool stuff. And the T-shirts and the mugs, all of that stuff. People. The T-shirts and the mugs and everything is exclusive to the campaign.
Yep.
To the documentary.
That's right. You won't see it again.
Last call.
That's right.
Last call.
Doing your own video, we really, really want to have your videos about Patrice, like how he changed your life, or when you saw him, or how what he did for you, or whatever little story you have about him. We really want to put that in the movie. We do. Yeah. So we can't guarantee that it's going to be in the movie, but please, it will definitely be in the extras, the DVD extras, and online on the extras, and so you'll definitely be a part of this campaign and part of this film for $150, and we really want you to do it. We really want you to do it. That would be great.
And I get people tweeting me all the time about how much they miss Patrice and what he did in their life and how they've been following his philosophies and his comedy for years and what it really means. So it would be great to be able to have that video from you, to actually see you talking about it and putting it into the film and tying it in to all the stories that the comedians are going to tell, and that his mom is going to tell, and that I'm going to tell my daughter, like Patrice's family, his friends, the comics. We do need that extra footage from the fans to really tie it all in. So go to Indiegogo.com.
Every time we talk to a comic.
That sounded real pluggy. Go to Indiegogo.com.
Well, what I love is every time we talk to a comic, new, like an old school comic or a young comic coming up, everybody has just this earnest twinkle in their eye when they talk about Patrice.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. Like, there's real love for him. Like it's like this magic. You can see that they're talking with their heart, that they're talking like plainly and openly and honestly about somebody they really admired and loved, or both. It's really a cool thing. You can really feel a difference. It's nice. It's really nice.
I've shared that twinkle in the eye for him.
Yeah.
With the world forever.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that twinkle isn't new. That's the most amazing thing about Patrice, is that these stories aren't because he's dead.
Right.
And gone.
No,
this is how people felt before he left.
Yeah.
And those who know me know that if there was anyone here that was the nemesis of Patrice, or the opposite of loving Patrice, I would sit them down to tell that story as well, which I would love to do in the documentary.
We want to do that in the movie.
Yeah.
We want to get Lisa Lampanelli up in here.
I can't. She's like my favorite to talk to.
I know, she's great.
I hope she does it.
I hope she does too. Like, she wasn't. I think she said when he died that like, I didn't love him when he was alive. Why should I? Well, all of a sudden love him now.
Right.
But there was honesty. There was honesty in that too, and we that was what Patrice was about. So we want to do that. We definitely want to have the people that he rubbed the wrong way too. Just because.
And I think that they'll do it just because they know the context. Patrice was a guy that was all about context. And I think that's what made people comfortable in being honest to him, even if it was against him.
Yeah.
Because whether they agree with him or not, know that he'll get the context of what they're saying.
It'd be great to get that newscaster and that woman newscaster.
Oh.
Man, that was, what a day that was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's my favorite Patrice moment.
I think that was pretty great.
That's my favorite Patrice moment of all moments.
Certainly an honest moment.
Yeah.
And
I was so proud of him that day. And I know that sounds weird to say, like, oh, you're proud of him. I was proud of him in general, but I was proud of him that day because he really couldn't wait to get there. He really wanted to defend Don Imus. He really wanted to defend Opie and Anthony. And not because, oh, they're my friends, I have to do this. It was a guttural, hey, you're trying to take away freedom, which means you're going to take away my freedoms too, and yours, and you're too stupid to even know that.
Right. You don't even know you're limiting yourself.
Right.
Like in the long run.
Killing him.
Yeah.
And he nailed it.
Oh, you really did.
Nailed it. That's my favorite. I was just like, because I know him so well, and I know what's coming. Like, people don't know what's coming.
You can see it, yeah.
Whether it was just, if Patrice was here right now, and he was sitting down talking to you, I would know, based on whatever came out of his mouth, where it was going and what you were in for. And I would just...
Yeah, just wait for it. Just waiting for it. Yeah.
Just waiting for it.
Yeah, he was pretty great. I miss him. I really do miss him. Yeah. So
what else is going on? I don't know. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Did you get enough to eat? Did you get something?
I got a lot to eat.
Good. I got to eat something at some point.
I feel like I'm wearing this dress into the ground.
Yeah.
I keep trying to lift it up. It keeps coming down.
Yeah, I got nothing.
What else is going on? I don't know. I have my brand manager here.
Okay.
We're looking at different venues that have the book release party.
Okay.
In June-ish. Like, my birthday is June 24th, so I kind of want to do it around that date, but it's not solid yet because it's summer, so it's hard to book parties and stuff like that in the summer. People are like, oh, I'm going away, blah, blah, blah. So
you said you wanted to do things on the 17th. You were trying to do things on the 17th, right?
It's really weird.
What was the 17th about?
The Patrice had what's the word I'm looking for? Affliction or
an affection.
Affection for the number 17. I don't know. It was something about the number 17 that maybe I'll share more about in the documentary. Okay. Because it gets pretty deep. I don't want to go that deep here.
For me, it's March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, okay. No, it's much deeper than that, and I'll talk about what he felt was happening with the number 17.
Right. Okay.
There were a lot of things leading up to his death.
Cool.
That you would go, okay, your spirit, your soul knows certain things. So yeah, maybe I'll talk about that in the documentary.
Good, that'd be cool. We'll save it for that. That's great.
Yeah, not here.
No, that's okay. It's getting loud here. Is it too loud here?
Yeah. Oh, it gets turned up at the stand. It gets turned up. Cypher Sounds does his midnight show, and it's always like so packed.
Yeah, it's huge.
Like, I don't know how the stand built the stand, but this is like one of the most amazing clubs in the city. I love coming here. Yeah,
it's cool. It's got a great vibe. We're kind of shying away from us a little because we had to turn a light on to be able to do this. But
sorry, we're almost done though.
We are. It's close. It's getting close.
Are we? Where's our number?
Where is our number? How we doing, guys?
How are we doing?
How's our number? We got people chiming in. Okay, number coming up.
Huh?
Well, we're gonna continue a little longer until Jay Okerson comes up, but.
Oh God!
Well, we need to.
$124,382.
We need to kick in, you guys.
Come on, guys!
So
look,
close.
I'm getting a headache. Y'all get on my nerves. Look, don't make me jump this computer.
$618 is what we need.
$618. This is a marathon.
Did you just refresh?
578. Okay, 578. You guys are doing better, but almost doesn't count. Like, can we please get over 125,000 so we can celebrate and have a drink? I don't drink, but everybody else does. But I'm not letting anybody at the stand drink until we get to $125,000.
And
look, Jay Okerson is on his way. So if Jay cannot get you guys over,
Jay Okerson is worth $528.
More than that. He's like.
Jay and I just sold the show to Comedy Central. Jay and Sansan and I just sold the show to Comedy Central.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Yep.
What is it? Are you allowed to talk about it?
No, but it's gonna be funny. Jay's gonna be
out. Can I audition? Is there a day player part?
Yeah, no, it's good. We just
we
just sold the show.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited. Jay's awesome.
Should be.
Oh, Runner, cut that out. Runner, you're leaning back and forth on the court.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna jump out.
Oh, here's Jay.
Here's Jay.
Mr. Jay Hookerson, ladies and gentlemen.
Jay. Get your girl over here.
And his T-shirt says "Happy, happy, washy, washy." We'll find out more about that.
He always has on an interesting T-shirt.
Hey, bud. Pouring the wine. Oh, Mr. Big J.
How are
you
you,
doing, buddy?
Oh, no.
Oh, see what you've done?
I got
What
it.
happened?
It's all fixed. Wait. Boom.
Idea is not to be too close.
Yeah, you don't
There
got
we
it.
go.
You don't have to eat this one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
How are you, my friend?
How'd it go? How'd the set go?
They were odd. They were 8 o'clock. They were a very 8 o'clock crowd.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Ah, fantastic. That's what you hope for.
So you got to break a few eggs sometimes in those crowds.
Yeah.
I'd say 80% walked out loving it. 20% really hated it.
I think that's a good ratio.
That's fine.
I think that's good.
I'll take it every time.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want 100% loving it.
No.
Where's the fun in that? I mean, none of these selfies, by the way, not even one.
It's gonna be a whole thing. We're gonna make a Kim Kardashian book of selfies.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Should I have my titties out though?
Yes.
That's what Kim Kardashian did.
Yeah, that's right. You can show them the big butt. You can go the big butt route.
My ass implants.
There we go. Yeah, I get to be in one. Look.
And then you turned your head
Well, why do you wait? Why do you have to do that timing thing?
to give me time to make sure my game goes right.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, let's do it again so I can make sure my bangs are right. All right. So now it's not even.
We'll just cough out.
All right. Well, we'll be here.
So I was thinking about this the other day. Me and you we're bound for life somehow.
There, go here. I hope your people at home enjoyed that moment of sitting here waiting for that.
They get it. They know
What
what's
happens?
happening.
Selfies are the thing.
I think me and you are bound for life,
I
buddy.
think so, man. We're gonna do this show where I just told Vaughn. We just sold the show. I didn't tell her about it, but
Insane.
I know it's insane. It's
And we
awesome.
did Sturgis and Z-Rock,
I
and
know.
we're bound for life.
Dude, why not? Yeah, it could
Is it
be a
true?
lot worse for me. I don't know how you feel.
I was always told, the irony is I was always told for my character in Z-Rock, you guys had another guy who you were like really into.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I was completely unproven at that point.
Yeah.
So I love that it worked out. Look how far we've come.
I know.
Would you say now that I was the right choice?
No.
That other guy is a far superior actor.
I can't just go there. I'm not gonna blow your head up. I can't. We gotta work together.
That would be fantastic. He goes, no, the other guy's a far better actor.
Yeah, but mostly in musical comedy.
I hope my Legion of Skanks plug helped a lot. It was
Well, thank you very much. Yes,
it was,
honestly, it's been an amazing week. We've got like 400 new followers this week.
fantastic.
It's
Yeah.
been great. We're just $600 away from our goal.
We
600
pushed it hard on the Legion of Skanks, and we have a good listenership, and they're really devoted fans, and they like to jump into the cause. So I hope they
Thank
help.
you, Legion of Skanks.
I hope they move the needle a little
Tell
bit.
me
for
about
you.
Happy Happy Washy Washy. What is
That was we made these shirts for. We go on a cruise ship every year. The Legion of Skanks generally. I don't think it's happening this year, but we do a ship called the Shiprocked Cruise.
Okay.
Where they bring on the first year we did it was Korn and Godsmack and like 10 other bands. We've done it with Five Finger Death Punch, Black Label Society, Living Color, all these amazing bands.
Is there like a mosh pit there on the ship?
Oh yeah, some degree. Yeah, it's pretty great.
That's right.
We've done it a couple different times now, but the Legion of Skanks always represents on those, and it's and so happy washy washy, the Norwegian Pearl cruise line.
Just the people who fell off the boat.
The Norwegian Pearl is a cruise line.
Okay.
When Norwegian's a cruise line, the Pearl is one of their ships, and on the Pearl, I hear it's very specific. Is when you walk in or out of anywhere where there's food, there's Asian staff who squirts your hands with a sanitizer, and they say happy washy washy.
So Is it only the ones that do the hand sanitizing are Asian?
It's
or
it.
The whole staff Asian?
A lot of the staff is Asian, but generally speaking,
the
but the squirting of the hand, happy washy seems to be a very Asian job. Yes, absolutely. They
Very clean people.
they're very clean people, and it's it's got a lot of undertones of Asian hand job massage parlors, which is hilarious.
It does. I guess
And
it does.
I think that's the idea behind the whole happy washy thing.
Those Norwegians, they know what they're doing.
They know exactly what the fuck they're doing. So we made merch that was cruise appropriate.
Perfect. I love that.
How many did we sell? 18. It's not that many.
No, it's not what you hope for.
Which is why I have a few.
I see. Well, I'm an extra large.
Yeah, by all means, if you'll wear it.
Why not? Of course I'll wear it.
This is so cool. I just
Carry around the hand sanitizer.
me and my girlfriend Christine were I was like, what Patrice story could I tell?
Yeah.
That I love.
Not to tell the best one because we want to say that for the movie.
Oh yeah. No, it's not, this isn't the best. This is a funny one. It's a good Patrice.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's a good insight into his psyche,
Okay.
I believe, and that was we always did holidays, Thanksgiving essentially, and Memorial Day and Independence Day.
The barbecue sometimes.
We did the barbecues, and Thanksgiving was always at Patrice's house, which a beautiful thing my daughter at 12 years old has is, for him being taken from us so soon. My daughter has these memories of just growing up, like going to Thanksgiving was at Patrice's house, and like
Right.
that's such a beautiful thing for her to have, and I love that. But every year as new comics came in and new friends were made and everything, we maybe would, hey Patrice, can we bring so and so to Thanksgiving or whatever? And Nate Bargatze, who's a hilarious comedian, I'd say hands down the funniest squeaky clean comedian working in America. I mean, he's squeaky clean and he just knows how to be. He just had a new special Full-Time Magic come out on Comedy Central, and it's world class. It's great. But Nate is squeaky clean, and at the core of it, very religious. He's Christian, and he believes in what he believes.
Right.
And one of the things he's always Nate Bargatze has passed on that he's believed is that dinosaurs. The reality of what he said was dinosaurs existed, but his father taught him that dinosaurs existed with man. That's the explanation of dinosaurs. They were around with man, and no evolution or Genesis. Just they existed with man. And
Started seventh day.
Same way, yeah. It was all there, and then dinosaurs somehow fell short.
Right.
Now,
Sure.
Patrice loves confrontation. He loved just like a deep, heavy conversation about anything philosophy. And one of our common friends, Wayne Rada, who is still a dear friend of mine, is very protective over his friends and very protective over what he thinks they want and making them be comfortable. He feels like he's like a lifelong manager without the commission. And Wayne, it was the second Thanksgiving that Nate lived in New York where he was going to go with us to Patrice's. And Wayne told me, he goes, hey, don't bring Nate. He goes, I don't think Patrice is interested in having Nate around. He goes, he's blown away about his beliefs and that he sticks so hard to like there's no evolution and all his and pro-life and all that stuff. Which I know Patrice necessarily didn't agree with any of those stances, but I know Patrice, and I know Patrice likes to mix it up.
Chat it up.
He'd rather have an 8-hour day Thanksgiving hang of this conversation
I'm sure.
than watching football and everybody being kind of quiet. He liked the conflict.
Oh, yeah.
And so Wayne said, no Nate, please, if it's okay. And I said okay, but on a whim, I saw Patrice at the Comedy Cellar one night, and I said, he said, you all set for Thanksgiving? You're coming over for Thanksgiving? And I said, sure, absolutely. And I said, Wayne told me you don't want me to bring Nate and his wife. You don't want them to come. And he goes, what? He goes, Nate's wife helped clean up last year. She was one of the best guests we had. I go, yeah, I know. Just Wayne told me that you might not want Nate around because of his beliefs. And the quote is, I got a quote obviously around this, but he goes, I go, he said you don't really want Nate there. He goes, that nigga don't believe in dinosaurs. Why would I not want that in my house? No, even though he got the idea wrong, Nate doesn't necessarily not believe in dinosaurs, but he just like the sentiment is so there that it's like he just want to go like, no, let's just fucking fight for 8 hours. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, well,
it's fun.
Discuss.
Yeah. He loved it. I think he made a couple break up at his house one Thanksgiving. Ray and his girlfriend. I think he started a fight that almost made him break up.
That was everybody.
Yeah.
Broke up couples all the time.
They
stayed together after that, though, but I know which one you're talking
sure.
about.
My ex-wife was is still a rare breed who she worked at the comic strip. And when I met her, that's how we met, my ex-wife and the daughter of my mother, and we were together for a long time. And Patrice was like, I was friends with Patrice through all of that. And
do you remember? Hold that. But do you remember the time? It was probably that same time with Teray and Kay, his girlfriend. And I was looking at Carla because me and Carla were like the ones with men, and Carla was like, Carla Okerson. I was like, Von O'Neill. Like, no matter what happened, we were like, we're just going to say our new last names in our head. And it was just been...
Well, it's so funny.
We were looking at the other girl like,
yeah, she was trying to challenge a lot, and Patrice was going at her. It was fantastic. But Carla, my ex Carla, worked at the comic strip when I met her. And she really was one of the rare few. Patrice would notoriously piss off the staff because he'd go on at the end and do an hour and slow everybody's night down from getting out of there. And my ex, man, a credit to her from the moment we started dating, and I was already friends with Patrice by the time we started dating. She just loved that he did that. Like her idea was like, oh, well, I could finish doing my rounds of shots and drinks, and then I can go sit in the balcony and watch him do his thing. And she really had an appreciation for it. And he was never necessarily soft on her, and she kind of appreciated that. I remember when she told me when we first started dating, Patrice had come into the club and he had asked around, I guess. He goes, hey, I heard Jay's dating a girl who works here. And they go, yeah, she's on the computer in the office. And the office is very small at the comic strip.
Right.
And he walks in and just her on the computer, and she said she looked up and looked at Patrice, and they just locked eyes for a good 20 seconds, and he just went and walked out. And she felt like that was her approval.
In case you're not watching, he shrugged.
He shrugged, yeah. He just
made a little grimace.
He just gave it over. He's like, hey, you'll do. You're fine.
That's awesome.
And she always appreciated that. She just she loved his honesty, and we all did. Knows that's if there's a time of year where I get particularly sad about missing my buddy, man, it really is Memorial Day, 4th of July, but very specifically Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving 4th of July and Memorial Day were like a free-for-all. So Robert Kelly would bring 5 open micers that he brings on the road and hangs out with, and everyone, and it would be 50 people hanging outside of Patrice's house. But Thanksgiving was inside, and it was very inner circle.
Yeah, he literally was, when we first started doing Thanksgiving, his whole concept was like, comics don't have anywhere to go. They don't go home. They don't have money to go home. They don't have money to have a real Thanksgiving. So it was like, if you're here, we're going to have the best Thanksgiving dinner possible.
And what was amazing was Patrice started making money, not in like a...
Yeah, no, he was definitely
not far from rich, but he started making regular money his last 2 years, I'd say, of life. And in those 2 years, the spread he would roll out just to give back in that way, in any sort, to the comics was something. And Thanksgiving was very special. Like my former father-in-law came with us a couple times, and he came with us 2 years to Thanksgiving, and him and Patrice didn't even necessarily mingle very much. he was he kind of sat there. He's an older guy, and he said that, and he'd watch Patrice break down to Ray's girlfriend or whoever was challenging him, and he'd go through it, and through that just built this affection that I didn't even understand until when he passed, which hit hard. I didn't even picture when Carla, my ex, told her father that. And he lived in Argentina. He still does. How that affect? I mean, it brought him down.
Wow.
Like it really took him down big. Just from like he just felt that graciousness. And it's funny, Patrice is so often compared to like the mean comics in comedy.
Right.
And he was scathingly mean. I don't know if he's been meaner to anybody than he's ever been mean to me, but at the same,
like how?
It's just in ball busting. I have nothing personal.
No, not personal.
But I'm
like
saying
with the comedy stuff, because he loves your.
No, listen.
Like, Jay, you're here, but you want to be here.
My favorite one of my favorite. One of my favorite moments was Dan Soder, me and Dan Soder starting a radio show together. And we're both very inspired by Patrice. And Dan Soder has a great story of we did New Year's in Stand Up New York one year together. And Patrice and I. And I was on before Patrice, obviously. And it was when Patrice first started wearing like fedoras and not wearing jerseys and shit anymore. And Dan,
that wasn't my favorite thing. I like the jerseys.
Me too.
But before you keep going, $528 left, you guys.
We can do it.
Yeah, we got to do this. We got to do it. The campaign ends tomorrow.
We can do it in minutes.
Tomorrow, we want to make this movie. $528.
We can do it.
Let's do this.
How long do we have?
Well, we got. How long you got?
I'm sending out a tweet. It's gonna go out. I'm saying we're gonna get this. We're gonna get it.
It's like pulling teeth.
But Patrice, oh shit.
$5 a tooth. By
Where
the way.
was I?
$5 a tooth.
You
were just Soder, Dan Soder.
Dan Soder. And me. So Soder says that Patrice came in on the New Year's when I was on stage, and he took his hat off and put his hand on his knee. And every time I would hit a punchline, he said Patrice would point and nod his head. Which, as a comic, I'm doing it 17 years too. Like I know, like that's the best comic. You're like, it's good. It's very good. And his respect in my comedy was, he said on a very low level, there was a thing called Comical Radio. It was one of the first podcasts before podcasts became a thing. And he went on and someone told me to listen to it, and he listed the 5 best comics in New York. And he named 4 pretty heavy hitters. And I know in that lineup was Nick DiPaolo, Colin Quinn, David Tell. I don't remember what the 4th was. But they asked him for his top 5. And 5th, in fairness, he thought about it for a minute, and he named me. And he called it out. He goes, like Shaquille O'Neal on the 50 best. In Shaquille O'Neal's rookie year, they put him on the 50 best NBA players of all time list. And when people challenge that, they go, it was based off of potential. And he goes, so I'm putting Big J on there based on I believe he can do something big in comedy. And it's funny. What's bizarre is I know him and Norton's friendship is very well told. And him and Bobby Kelly and Voss and these guys. So when I came into comedy, he was already, this was his clique. But me and him had something very unique, man. And I really, all my best memories, man, are conversations we've just had over the phone where it's like, I'm calling him like, Patrice, should I quit? Like, am I awful? Is this over? Am I done? And him talking me out of that. And I'll tell you, this is a great story. And it definitely gonna hurt a feeling or two, but it's worth the funny.
Oh, that's okay. Everybody's gonna live.
I was in Kansas City. I always remember that. I was headlining, and he would always call me when I was headlining to bust my balls. He'd be like, "How many people were in the audience while you're headlining?" And I'd be like, 100 people in a 300-seat room on a Friday, and he's like, "Welcome to the world of the unknown headliner." Which always stung, but I was in Kansas City performing at Stanford & Sons. And I happened to listen to Howard Stern that week, and Lisa Lampanelli was on.
We were just talking about her.
Because she was she had her hour special premiering that year on HBO. And I heard her on Stern. And before I even get to that, let me say, at the comic strip, one of my favorite things was the staff would always complain about Patrice doing an hour. But the lineup always seemed to be, Lisa, I would do checks. This is very early in my career. I would do checks, and then Patrice would close. And Patrice would do an inordinate amount of time. Lisa Lampanelli used to end her set like she was closing a theater. She would always do a bunch of like racial stuff, and then she would assign people races. And at the end of her set, it was like when she got the light, it would be a 5-minute rehearsed thing of like, let's keep it going for the black guy because he's most likely to be violent. And how about it for the blah, blah, blah. And she would close it out like she was closing at a big show, which left a weird space where you go after her.
Yeah.
And even though I was doing the checks, Patrice felt like he still had to follow her energy. And I remember them complaining, and I remember one time he was like, the manager at the time, JR, goes, hey, Patrice, tonight, I remember I just happened to be like fly on the wall for this conversation. He's like, Patrice, how about tonight we don't, go too long. And he goes, let me explain something to you, JR. And he grabs the clipboard that has the lineups.
Right.
And he goes, every time Lisa Lampanelli is here, and he circles it real big, he goes, Patrice O'Neal is going to do an hour here.
Oh, wow.
And he just kept circling it. So he had this weird, like, unspoken, not beef, but like just like gripe with her.
Right.
And I was in Kansas City, or especially this air. I heard on Stern talking about how not only she had this special, I guess this ended up not going through, but she had a deal with HBO. She was going to do a show with Jim Carrey, producing about comedy, whatever. It was going to be her show. It never ended up happening, I guess. But Patrice calls me, and he just goes, I remember the phone call. He just starts out of the blue. He goes, so I just watched Lisa Lampanelli's special on HBO. It was terrible. So he goes, so hopefully that's it. Hopefully that finishes her completely.
Oh, wow.
And I go, Patrice, man, she got a deal with HBO to do her own special about stand-up comedy. And Patrice, he's quiet for 30 seconds. And I just go, Patrice, you there? And he just goes, I quit. And he hung up the phone on me and wouldn't answer his phone again.
Oh, man.
And another story I could tell that I'll tell this and I'll get out
honestly,
of here.
that story was too good.
Well, this is a great one.
I know.
We need to record
This is okay. Can I tell you one of my favorites?
I don't know.
This is great.
I know. We want to maybe put it on the movie.
We can tell the movie still. I promise.
All right.
This is
Well, look, we have like 16 followers right now.
I've told this story before on podcasts, my own perhaps even. I don't remember. But, but this is a story. This is I always save our last few texts. Me and Patrice have our last few texts. I've always kept in my phone. In fact, when I got my iPhone 6, I made sure that I could transfer my text over because I can't get rid of those. And our last conversation, I remember, was so great. It was coming off of the night of the Charlie Sheen roast, which I happened to be, weirdly enough, with Patrice. We were in Houston, Texas, doing the Laugh Stop in Houston. Some of my greatest memories is on the road with Patrice. And we did Houston a few times together, weirdly enough. He always brought me to Hope and Perform there. And Patrice always you bring me up with Hope and Perform there, and we were when I was in Houston with him one time, he got the offer to roast Flavor Flav, which is 4 roasts at least before Charlie Sheen,
right?
And would have put him, changed his level. I went into his room the afternoon he was offered that, and it was 3 in the afternoon. He was lying in bed in boxers still. He just kept his room very dark, and TV was on. And I had to convince him to go out and let's get some food and go walk out in the sunshine. And I go, so they called, he was in my room when they called me. I go, they called you to do this Flavor Flav roast. So how fucking insane, that's going to change your life. He goes, I said, no. I go, on the spot? He goes, I would turn it down. Why? You got to have some vibe, some feeling with somebody when you roast them. There's a thing about that. You should roast somebody you have a feeling about. I don't know Flavor Flav. I don't know anything about him. Other than he's a Public Enemy, I don't care. So I said no. Very intriguing. He does the Charlie Sheen roast. The night not the night it airs, but the night he's performing the actual roast. This is one of my favorite stories. I'm at the comic strip that night. Tommy Latch, who's now the booker, but at the time was one of the managers there, and Sherrod Small, a comedian, we're all downstairs. We're smoking weed in the basement. Mellow, everything's going good. They start having an argument. Tom E. claims Patrice has made such bad blood there that he's not welcome to play the club anymore. Sherrod is accurately going, if Patrice wants to play this club, he'll play the club. If he pops in and goes, I want to go on for 45, they'll put him on. I don't know if either of those things are true. Because that, by the way, not that Patrice didn't deserve it, but that's at the what do you call that?
Correct.
It's at the mercy of the club. If the club goes, fuck you, Patrice, or they go, you're worth this. But they're fighting over this. And he goes, Sherrod goes, motherfucker, you're wrong. If Patrice wants to work the club, he'll work the club all he wants. The guy goes, fuck you, Sherrod. And they're going back and forth. It's starting to get, and they're drunk and they're stoned, and it's getting weirdly serious. And the guy goes, fuck you, Sherrod. Sherrod Small goes, I only got about one more of those fuck yous in me. And the guy goes, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Sherrod stands up, and now me and Dave Smith, who you know, my friend, are in the middle of, we're breaking up these guys who are going at it full tilt. They are trying to fucking hurt each other. And Sherrod's very strong. And we're holding them back, and it becomes a real melee. There's blood, it bruises, it travels upstairs, there's chairs thrown. It's very odd. It's all over, it ends. They go their separate ways. I think there's even almost that night like a fucking, fuck it, it's over, who cares, shake hands, good night thing.
Right.
But I can't wait to go home and call Patrice. So I get home to my house. I lived in Long Island at the time, and I would stay in the basement. My ex-wife and me, it was falling apart sort of to some degree already, so I would stay in the basement. My friend Dave would come home to me every night, and we'd stay in the basement.
Right.
And we got a bunch of food. I remember we called Patrice. And he answers the phone, and I can't wait to tell him the story. And I go, what's up, man? He goes, nothing. I just finished the Charlie Sheen roast. It's getting ready to let out. I'm hanging out outside. And I start telling the story, and I think he's going to be intrigued by the story. These guys are fighting. It's over you, blah, blah. His quote is, he goes, that sounds like them niggas was going to fight no matter what. And I go, Patrice, though. I go, Patrice, it was so adamantly about you, though. And then out of the blue, he starts going, he goes, I'm going to call you back tomorrow, man. I'm going to call you back tomorrow. I'm like in a panic. A genuine panic. Very out of character for him. I'm going to call you back tomorrow, man. Let me call you back tomorrow. I got to call you back tomorrow. And he hangs up on me, and I was like, all right. Like, that was weird. In the middle of, like, laughing about the story. An hour goes by. Me and Dave are watching TV. We're eating our food, whatever. And the phone rings to Patrice. This is literally our last conversation ever. Because he passed not long after Charlie Sheen. Weeks, right? He calls me up and I go, Patrice was up and he goes, go ahead, man, finish telling me that story. I go, what the fuck was that, man? What happened? He goes, oh man, it was one of the fattest moments of my life. I go, what? And I'm fat clearly, and I understand this process. He goes, I'm outside the Charlie Sheen roast. He goes, I'm talking to you on the phone, and I have an ice cream cone in my hand. People start coming out and going, you were awesome tonight. Great job. You know, he really, I mean, Patrice, to a degree, redefined the roasting process. He did a very unique thing.
He did.
And it was pageantry. It was so beautiful. I was so impressed, isn't even the wrong word, as much as a friend I was to him, proud of him. But I didn't know that time. It was just the night he did it. And he goes, man, he goes, I'm talking to you on the phone. I got an ice cream cone in my hand. People are walking up telling me, great job. He goes, and I get this. This has happened to me before. The leather on my belt broke. Snaps. And Patrice, me and him being both big guys, neither of us were the fucking amazing bubble asses. If your belt goes, your pants are going down. He goes, his pants hits his ankles, and he's holding an ice cream cone on the phone. And the whole audience is there congratulating him. And he just did, so he's panicked. He's yelling at me. Like, he wants to call me back. And I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, let me just call you back, man. Because he doesn't want to toss his ice cream. And that was our, God damn it, that was our last conversation, man. And I love that that's what it was. It was this real moment of his very rare, and Vaughn can attest to this, very rare vulnerability. But that moment, he felt so fat, and just holding an ice cream on the phone, and you got to bail on one, and he didn't want to. Oh, yeah.
You know our relationship. We didn't have secrets.
So a hardcore.
I did not know that.
No shit.
He never told me.
Wow.
And Dave Smith, we had him on speakerphone. He goes, man, my pants hit my ankles, and I was just like, I had to make a decision. And eventually it was hang up on you and hold my ice cream.
Wow.
And
wow.
And I will. And after that,
I think they're kicking us out.
After that, I was not to bring a sad note to it, but after that I was sad. I had a bad career news. I didn't get something, or something I was up for, or something I didn't. And my last text is, I go, Patrice, call me up, man. You got to convince me not to quit comedy. And then 2 days later, I put question marks, like what the, one thing about Patrice, he did get back to me. We did talk like that. And before that, it was an argument about, remember the black guy who was on death row, who last minute they were like, he's innocent, like victim, like people who said they were victims of him were like, we were lying.
Right.
And they ended up executing him anyway. And I go to Patrice, I go, so we got to talk about this guy getting executed? I go, you think it was racial? And he goes, no, Jay, it wasn't racial. It was totally because he was guilty. And then the next thing is me going, Patrice, convince me not to quit comedy. And then he was already in a coma at that point. And then I put question mark. And then 2 days later, you texted me or Carla and were like, Patrice is really in bad shape. And that was, and I can't get rid of those. And it was, he really is, he touched my life in ways that I never would have imagined, man, through good and bad. Since 2 years in the comedy, he was a major influential part of my life. And Vaughn got to know that as close as she got to, like, my ex and my daughter and her, and, our daughters have played together several times, occupying themselves at a barbecue. It's, I hope this money comes through, man, and I fucking hope that I was able to help in some way, and I would be happy to tell these stories again in any capacity.
Oh, that's great, man. Thank you. So what an amazing story.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was a major part of my, and the reason when I get my hour special that I will sit on a stool is watching Patrice O'Neal command a room from making them come to him.
Right.
And that's something that I always say David Tell and Patrice, both of them together, taught me more about comedy in the short amount of time that I had him in my life than I ever could have learned anywhere else.
Yeah.
And for all the people outwardly who don't know, I think Vaughn knows how close me and him were, man. We really had a synergy comedically, that making him laugh at a barbecue while he's sitting there in an oversized, dirty T-shirt because he just was cooking ribs for the last 6 hours. And when I would just chime in my one line to add on to him, and he would laugh, was more than Comedy Central executives going, we love you, we want to do something. That meant I was like, man, the funniest guy thinks I'm funny, and there's no better reward than that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah! If
Fuck
that's
yeah.
not worth $528, you can suck my dick.
I think yeah, we're up. We're up. Yeah. We're 542. We have $458. $458 to go, and we got to wrap it up. The stand wants us to go away. So thank you. We have the light flashing. We got the all kinds of light flashing. So thank you so much. Thank you. We need $558. That's it. $558. $458. The campaign ends tomorrow at midnight. Midnight Eastern time. So please, let us get over this last hump. $500 more. $458 more. And to get stories like these from Jay, from all these people, it's such a great project. Please help us make it happen. Thanks a lot. Bye. I don't think I stopped it. I didn't.